Hello everyone, my name is Shira and welcome back to another adventure in Minecraft. Today's project, we're gonna do some building. And that build is also gonna be a farm. But before we get started on that, I want to check on the new features added in the Mounts of Mayhem. Because I actually forgot to do that last episode. First is the spear. I want to actually test this out to a mob to see how effective it is. But I want to upgrade this into netherite first. So time for a quick ancient debris mining session. And now, I have a netherite spear. Now time to test this out. It's nighttime right now, so let's go find some mobs. Can't seem to find any mobs. Ah, there we go. Oh, forgot I have knockback. That was quick. Only 2 hits. Cool. Well, that was fast. It's already morning. The heck? Why can't I hit him? The lunge attack doesn't seem to work really well. Now let's try it while mounted on a horse. It's already daytime, so there are no mobs left. So let's try doing it to these guys here. Yeah! Yeah! This is actually pretty fun. Well, I'm just gonna stop there before I kill all of the animals here. And yeah, as you can see, the spear is really strong when you're mounted in a horse. And my horse isn't even the fastest horse around. I could get myself the fastest horse possible by breeding a bunch of them, but that might be a project I'll do sometime in the future. And lastly, you can do even more damage with the spear while flying on an elytra. Since flying on an elytra is faster than riding a horse, this will potentially do even more damage than before. And time for a quick test. Sorry, pig. I should actually do this on a more stronger mob to actually test out the difference in damage. Oh well, this is fine I think. And that's it for the spear. I'm still gonna stick with my good old sword here, but I'll use the spear from time to time if I want to. A few new mounts were also added into the game, some of which are pretty rare to find, so I'll probably not find one this episode. But there is one that I spotted earlier. And here it is. This here is a Nautilus. And as you have guessed, you can actually mount them. But first we need to tame them. So I have this pufferfish here. So just give him a few, and now we tame them. Then now, I can actually ride them. And I can even equip them with a saddle so I can control them. This is a pretty unique mob since it's the only underwater mount in the game right now. It has a pretty decent speed, and it can also boost. When riding the Nautilus, you can also breathe underwater. You can see the new status effect on the upper right corner there, called the Breath of the Nautilus. So we can safely ride our new friend here anywhere underwater. And we can also do this. You can actually also equip them with armor, which you can get from some treasure chests underwater. So that's probably something I'm going to be getting once I go exploring again. And now I'm just gonna leave our friend here. Hopefully he doesn't disappear on us. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The horse armor, well, the diamond one, can also be upgraded into netherite. And there we go. And that's pretty much most of the new things added in the latest game drop. So now, it's time to move on and do the project for the day. I'm gonna be building something today, which is also gonna be a farm. And that farm is just gonna be right over there in the forest. So let's head over there right now. We've arrived here in the middle of the forest, where I actually have a fence-up area here with some chests. I've not really shown this place in any of my episodes, save for some few time lapses. But this area here is actually where I've been farming all of my wood. I've been using this place as my dedicated tree farming area ever since I removed the one I've been using back in my base. So what I do is that I grab some saplings here, then plant them here to grow them into trees. And yes, I just manually farm the trees with my axe. So now, what I want to do today is to make a build dedicated for my tree farming area. I want to make this place look a little better than what we have here currently. Yes, I am building a tree farm, but it's not gonna be the semi-automatic ones with redstone involved. It's still all gonna be a manual process. Basically, just like this place, but looks much better in the eyes. When it comes to the trees, there are a total of 12 types of wood in the game. The oak, the birch, dark oak, spruce, acacia, jungle tree, mangrove, cherry trees, and pale oak. Then we have the wood variants in the nether, like the crimson, and the warped one. Then we also have the bamboo, which is actually another type of wood since you can make planks out of them. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Ignore the rain. We also have the azalea tree. But the azalea trees are basically just oak. The only difference are the leaves. Anyway, I want to be able to farm all of them here in the tree farm. So, let's go ahead and start building the thing. First things first, I'm gonna go and clean up the perimeter of the build. All done. We now have a big enough area to work on our build. We also seem to have some guests here. Hold on a sec. Right, back to what I was saying, I've now cleared out this area where I'm gonna be building. I chopped up some trees to clear up the area, and even covered up some holes that were around. I even did some minor terraforming in this hole here, and even raised up the water. I'll probably come back to this later to clean it up a bit more. Anyway, this is the area we're gonna be working with. My idea for this place is that I'm gonna be building a lumber mill, something that will fit as a tree farming area. I don't really know much about lumber mills, so I had to Google a bunch of different images just to get an idea on what I'm gonna be building. So hopefully, I can build something with a similar feel to that. I've also now gathered all of the materials I will need to build the entire lumber mill, so we're actually all good to go. So let's get started on building that lumber mill. And we're done. I kind of got carried away and finished the entire build. So time to show you everything, I guess. Except it started raining. Hold on a sec. Here is the lumber mill, with the same road design here as well, going all the way to the entrance. Then inside the lumber mill, there are quite a lot of stuff. First, to the left side here is the horse stables, where you can leave your horses. It has a simple design using a lot of spruce and dark oak. Over there are water tanks purely for decoration. Then up here is the storage area. You can see here that the main building block that I used are bricks with some granite for added texture. Then I used tough bricks for the roof. And I used the same thing for every structure inside the lumber mill. Inside here are all of the chests where I can store all of the logs that I harvest. All of the 12 types of the logs I mentioned are here. Then some barrels down here to store all of the saplings for each type. Then I have a bunch more barrels over here to store the rest of the items that I can get from trees, like the sticks, apples, and a bunch of other stuff. Then here I have a contraption with a hopper minecart. And if I activate this, the hopper minecart will then make its way to the harvesting area, which I have over here. Here is where I plant the trees and cut them down. The hopper minecart goes around somewhere down here to collect all of the loot that drops from the trees that I harvest. It's not really needed since I can just collect them myself, but it does help a little. Anyway, the harvesting area has 3 sections. This bigger one with the podzol, then the smaller crimson and warped nylium. This is where I plant almost all of the other trees. Then the crimson and warp ones are done here since you can only grow them in their respective nylium. So the crimson fungus goes here, then the warp one goes here. Now over here is where we have a bunch of redstone powered stuff. On the first building here, we have a fungi farm. I can use this to get both the crimson and warp fungus. And if I turn this on, it will rapidly give me a bunch of the fungi and other nether-based plants that grows on the nylium. This is just a shipping floor pushed by pistons on both sides here with a dispenser below the center point here. And each time the floor moves, the dispenser bone mills the nylium and alternates between the crimson and warp every time the floor shifts. So I get the loot from both the 2 types of nylium at a very fast rate. It consumes a lot of bone meal, which I just need to put here to fuel the farm. Now let's turn this off because it's really loud. On the next building is a bone meal generator. This is just here so I can have a place to dump all of my excess compostable stuff that I get from tree mining, as well as all the other stuff that I got earlier that I don't need a lot of. Then all of the bone meal are stored here. Then on the third and final building is another farm, a propagule farm. You can farm them by bone milling a mangrove leaf like this, then bone milling the propagule itself 4 times so that you can harvest it, like so. So turning this on will just automatically do what I showed you, with the piston harvesting the fully grown propagules. It's pretty slow, but it works as intended. Although I designed all of this myself, I took a lot of inspirations from stuff that I've seen from other tutorials of these types of farms. So all of these are not completely original. Then over here we have a water tower, just because I can build it. Then down here is another section where I store the harvested logs. These are just a bunch of added decorations to give more life to the lumber mill. We have all of the types of logs scattered around in this area. And then there's also this sawmill thing over here, where you put a log on this side and it gets sawed and stripped as it goes through the machine, just like in any regular old lumber mill. I don't know how lumber mills work. Then finally, here's the main build of the lumber mill. Basically the main office. The inside here is pretty cozy. There are beds here if I want to sleep or set my spawn. Then a fireplace area to relax and chill out. This is also where the portal is. And just like with all of my builds, down here is another one of my railway station. And this will connect to the railway system in the future. Then if we continue going up, we'll reach the top of the tower with the view of the entire lumber mill. Everything is in view here. And you can even see loads of my other builds from here as well. There's the lighthouse in my base. Then we can also see a glimpse of the mining center over there. Then over here we can also see the Emerald City. Then over there by the ocean, you can also see my Guardian farm right over there. The hostile mob farm is also in view over there. Then lastly, on this side, we can also see over there, which is my honey farm. So yeah, this Lumbermill is basically in the center of a lot of my builds in the world, which is pretty cool. And that is the Lumbermill complete. Now I have a place where I can farm all of the logs I will need for my builds in the future. But of course, I'm still planning on making one of those tree farms that are semi-automatic. But that will be sometime in the future. For now, the Lumbermill that I have here will have to do. So, that is it for me today. If you enjoyed the episode and want to see more, hit that like button. And subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I appreciate the support. We'll continue on our next adventure next time. And I'll see you when I see you.